not to speak in Spanish.
Increíble.
Now we are coming to the big things, the mega prostheses. You heard already a very great talk of Javier Perez about it, and I'd like to tell about our experience and our philosophy and when we use this kind of procedures. We have heard a lot about bone defects, arthroscopic classification, for example, for the femur, or the aortic classification for the knee, and bone loss is really a devastating problem, and so it needs sometimes big solutions. Especially here, if you have such a kind of bone loss in cases like this, you can try to solve this kind of problem. This was a fungal infection. When my colleagues did this in the late 80s, it's a solution, but probably not the best solution. So, and in many cases we don't know what we can do or how we can solve the problem with a standard implant or even with a revision implant, and then we have to find some other solution. And the solution is always the mega procedures. In case of loss of the distal tibia or femur, but it has of course some disadvantages. It is not really the factory construction. The costs are usually very high and it's not available in every country. Let's take a little look at the past. You know, our hospital has a very long tradition, long history, and to my knowledge, the first total femur replacement was implanted actually in the endoclinic in 1973. And here you see the patient. This lady, he suffered from an osteosarcoma, and she got the first total femur replacement in the endoclinic. In the past, the total femur replacement was some kind of custom-made prosthesis, because we must send the long-standing X-rays to the company. They measured the length and then they produced the stems. The indications for a total femur replacement or mega prosthesis are clear: migration and severe bone loss, for example. One of my best patients is this patient. I did this 20 years ago. He was 70 years old. In the year 2000, 1 year post-operatively after I implanted him a total femur replacement, he did very well. And he came to me 19 years post-operatively, and you see how good the function is with a total femur replacement, without any bone at all in his thigh. So he's a guy from Turkey. He is going to swimming every year, and he's now 90 years old, and you see he's in a very good condition. Interprosthetic fracture is a good indication for a total femur replacement, like this case, like cases like this here. This was a case I did in 2002, and it worked quite well, even 9 years post-operatively. The only publication about total femur replacement we did long time ago, 2005. It was the biggest series during this time. Was 100 consecutive aseptic total femur replacements, and interestingly, the results was the functional results of the total femur replacement were really good, at least according to the Anakin classification. And so the patient really got a lot and good benefit of it. But there's one complication that is quite frequent, or we have seen very frequently in combination with mega prosthesis or total femur replacement. Our infection rate, at least due to our publication 2005, was 12%, including 2 secondary amputations. We are a little better now, but as bigger the implant, as bigger is the chance that it can be infected. Today we use this system, which is a very simple system. It's based on the endomodel in the knee. It's based on the MP revision stem in the hip. This is a system of the Guatemalan company. It's also available here in Ecuador, and you can use it in any kinds of bone defects. For example, and we have seen cases like this. Bill showed us a case where he removed the proximal part, distal part of the femur, and we use it. Generally, we use more with cones. We do not use the regular metal cones at the moment anymore. We use our own cone. I designed a new cone, which is also quite nice, and it's very elastic, so it is that you can adapt it very easily to the bone. And it cones gives us a really good stability. We did this finite element analysis, and you see how the tibial component of the leather model, how stable it is with the tibial cone. Use of cones is on the rise, is increasing. Here you see Tom Stalko during the talk last year during the CCOT Congress in Montreal, where he reported the number of cones that they use in the meantime in the HSS. And as you can see here, 2015, just 18 cones, and 2017, already almost 200 cones. So they made the same experience like us, because if you do not provide any kind of rotational stability in your mega implant, especially in the knee, then you have a lot of early failures. The Mega System C is a system which works everywhere, and it's again very easy, and you can solve almost every problem with this system. Even severe bone loss you can solve with it with distal femur replacements, or this is the case I did in Santiago de Chile, where the patient suffered from a car accident. You see open fracture. They tried to reduce this. He got it infected. That was severely infected with Staph aureus, and they put in a spacer like this. This is a very nice spacer, and it worked actually. And then they asked me to reimplant it, and so I did a Mega C system. Very easy, very quick surgery there in this case. Another case here where we used a special Mega System C, 68-year-old patient who suffered from some infections, more infections. He came to me in June 2017. It was quite difficult to remove the femoral component. The extensor mechanism was completely infected. He suffered from a rupture of the patella tendon. I tried to refixate it, but no chance. Re-rupture of the patella tendon and reinfection, and then I revised it to the arthrodesis neo. The femoral component of the arthrodesis neo got loose, and I revised the femoral component into another one. So, and this was failed also. So at the end, I used the Mega System C with a total femoral symmetric tibial component. And that's the case I did 2 days ago with a Mega C system here in Guayaquil. You see there's almost no bone left. This was the Brazilian model implanted 8 years ago. Failed, migrated through the knee into the tibia, and you see here this implant that we removed 2 days ago. It is a Brazilian design again. I removed many of them here, especially in Colombia. I did 2 or 3, and here this was the first one. In Ecuador, you see the stem migrated through the knee into the tibia, and then you can use very easily. It was a quick procedure, 2.5 hour procedure to implant this Mega C system in the patient here in Guayaquil. And at the end of my talks, I wanted to show you the best case in my whole career, to be honest, because it was very satisfying for me, and I did it with a Mega C system as well. It's about a young lady. The story is about a young lady. She suffered from an osteosarcoma in the age of 16 years old, and in another tumor center in Germany, 1994, she got this tumor prosthesis, also a Mega implant. They resected the proximal part of the tibia, and then it got loose very quickly. They changed the tibial component 3 months later, and she developed a periprosthetic joint infection, and this was all in the 90s. So I was not the guy who did the surgery, but my colleagues in the 90s, my older colleagues, they tried to solve the problem in 2 steps. The first step was to do a one-stage exchange. In the second step, they wanted to do some kind of an ankle prosthesis. Here, the first step, so the first one-stage exchange into a long rotating hinge knee ankle model, and they controlled the infection, and they did some kind of plastic surgery, and then in the second step they did this ankle hemiarthroplasty. So it's a really mega prosthesis from the femur down to the ankle. So in 1996 she was quite happy. She was really a great, or she is still, she is a fantastic woman. She was a great girl. She was in this field, she was 18 years old. She was always happy. And she came to me 17 years later with a loosening of the femoral component. And then you have a problem. She was, in this age, 17 years later, she was at the beginning of 33 or 34 years old. And you see, and now what can we do with this patient? I mean, there's almost no bone left. You can try to use a longer stem in the femur, but I decided to change everything into a total femur replacement with this MegaC system. And this worked very well. 3 months post-op, it was and you see here the functional result of this young woman. She is still in a good shape. This surgery is about 6 years old, and you see functional result with a MegaC system is quite good. And the best thing is the end of the story. She sent me 2016 this little card because she got twins, and this is really a happy end of the whole story. Thank you so much.